Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dear Dance. I am so excited for today's episode. Also, you might have noticed I cut my own hair. I'm just going to put it out there. So, if you're a hairdresser out there, please don't judge me. I would also like some recommendations. But enough about me. Today, my guest is Carlos, who is a dancer, but he doesn't just limit himself to dance, he literally does everything under the sun. He not only is a professional dancer, but he's also a lifestyle, beauty, and fashion photographer. He has a sweet setup. He does we're going to talk all about it. He is a director, an actor, a rapper, and a mental health advocate. And he has a really cool story about how he got into dance. I'll leave a little preview, but he originally went to Pace University and then decided to drop out and pursue dance full time. So I'll let him tell that whole story because it is so cool. Wait till you find out what he was studying before he even discovered dance. I can't even imagine him not dancing. And now, to hear that story, you're gonna be like, whoa. And yeah, so he co-runs a production company called Karma with his partner in crime, Emma, who was on the show. You might have remembered last year around this time, we made some gratitude friendship bracelets. It was the first time she ever made a friendship bracelet, which is really cool. And he is also in the process of developing a mental health slash vulnerability support group for a brand that was started during quarantine called Safe Space, which I'm so excited to talk about. So, enough of me blabbing on. I want you to check out this amazing video of him because he's an awesome dancer.
Yes. Bullets in the clip high, pull it in the kid drop. Would he ever live if he grew up in a ziplock? Shut up from the riff rock. Never heard of hip hop, caught up in the grist today, how I feel now. Aiming for the lid, better be a tip top. Friendly from the beach, showed him how to crip walk. Brother was a blood, he's slanging that Chris Rock. Got minutes on the wristwatch, watching as a TikTok. Belly had a piss pop, bloody as his fist got. Muddy as his kicks got. Homie never did stop, aiming to get rich, he taking a clear shot. Fenders at the goal, he buying up clear lots. About to show the world as soon as the shit drops. That he spill his soul every time he clears thoughts on paper. This nigga's the truth, y'all niggas just rule on paper. If money ain't
What? That was so strong and powerful. I'm obsessed. All right, without further ado, let's bring him in with some applause. Are you ready for it? Woohoo! Hello, welcome. I'm good.
This intro. Oh my god, I feel so funny.
I'm glad. I am just so excited that you're here. I'm so excited. Our craft is fall themed. We are spicing up some pumpkins. So you have a really funky pumpkins. They've got some added foliage. I love that for you. And I have this white pumpkin that has kind of lumps and bumps. And so we thought we would just get a little creative, see what happens, see if we can spice them up a bit. I have some gold paint and I'm just gonna kind of paint it, and then yeah, we can just kind of see where it takes us. There's no fail option because there's no right way to do this craft, which is the best kind of craft because sometimes they go very wrong for me on this show. So while we do this, would love to hear a little bit about your journey with dance and how you started dancing, which I already know a little bit about, and it is such a cool story. So, take it away.
Right. So it's a very interesting story because dance was always something I admired literally my whole life, but I never got a chance to discover careers in dance. It wasn't a thing in my family. So not until college, sophomore year in college, I came across a YouTube video, and it was a Luam video. Luam Kuleski. She runs amazing workshops. RTI, one of my first ones in New York. And
Yep.
to be honest, I was in college for business management as well as accounting. And honestly, dance could have been furthest from my mind. at this time, and until I saw this music video, not music video, dance class, because during that time she was actually like posting a lot of her
Yeah, she was one of the
class
first
videos.
people to post class videos online.
Exactly, like she was the pioneer of it.
I
think
remember watching her videos, like dreaming about, and her Luam world and her cool pants that she had, and I was like, this lady's amazing. And then like got to meet her, like, whoa, crazy. But
right,
yeah,
literally.
she's so inspiring. So I 100% understand how you would be enthralled by dance after watching one of her class videos.
Oh my god, like it was ridiculous, and I got so inspired. And what's crazy is that the moment I saw this video, I realized, okay, I think my whole life is about to change. I felt it, and literally there was no turning back. I think life kind of just geared its way to push me into the direction. So, context, I have always had issues with migraines. Migraines were a huge issue during high school. I always ended up missing homework, classes, staying up late. It was a big issue, but I always fought through it and, got the job done. This particular semester, it got really, really bad. And also at the same time, depression was a huge thing for me. So I was like missing classes and, being absent from like a whole bunch of like, seminars and workshops and whatnot that was pretty much required for my major. And even though I got all of my work done, at the end of the semester, I got called into the dean's office and they told me, hey, we might actually have to fail you for two of your classes because it seemed like you just didn't, attend enough. And
Even
it
though you did
really,
all the work.
every single one of them, I aced every single one of them. Probably got like a B plus on one of them, but it was still passing. And they ended up telling me, because you ended up failing these two classes, we're gonna have to strip away your scholarship. And I was only attending this like really prestigious school because I got like a 3/4 scholarship
Wow.
for my classes, and I was like, okay, well, if I can't do school with a scholarship, I'm gonna have to drop out. So
Yeah.
lo and behold, I ended up leaving, and about maybe 6 to 8 months after, I was going through like a whole life crisis. I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't have money for college. Am I gonna go to community college? Like, what is the situation? And my family is all like, somewhat discouraged, disappointed, and I'm lost. A friend of mine ends up telling me about an ALE work study program. First time I'm hearing about ALE, by the way. So now I'm just like,
Wow.
whoa, black dancers on stage. I can actually take a dance class similar to the Luan video that I saw on YouTube, and I was like, wait, time out. What is this life? Literally, the moment
Mm.
I found the application for the work study program, my whole life shifted. I think from that moment on, dance was going to be my forever, and life has been history since then.
So had you
Like,
never taken a dance class before that Luam video?
yes, I've never taken a dance class
Not
before.
even like school, like talent shows, nothing.
So
Wow.
I always like loved watching music videos. I loved, Dance was like a massive one during my era, right? So I always admired dance, and also the first time I came across dance was more in a battle setting, like underground New York when flexing was like on its come up, and I always admired like the way they like created and the way they danced, the personalities that came up. It just really like drew me in. I came across a friend of mine named Katrina, very, very old friend of mine from high school, and we were like the dancers of the school, and we actually studied Michael Jackson's like Thriller to teach to the rest of the school for our sing. I don't know if any other high school had like a sing. Um, so it's pretty much like a talent show for all of the theater kids, and all of the other students can participate, but usually it's just the theater kids.
Uh huh.
Because you know what? We want to throw a whole Michael Jackson tribute. We studied Beat It, we studied Thriller, we studied everything and taught it to like the whole school and whoever wanted to participate. So from there, that was my first talent show ever, doing a
Wow.
solo for Billie Jean, and that's when I was like, okay, I think I want to be on stage, but it was never in like an actual want because in high school it was all about business, it was all about making the money, it was all about being in the crowd,
Right.
it was all about like you had your duties, and dance wasn't something that you can do, and that was my intro to like dancing, dance class, professionally taught moves. It wasn't until like I really saw, oh my God, there are classes out there for me to be able to take.
Wow.
Like,
Do you remember the
yeah,
first class that you took?
ooh, first class that I took. It was, oh my God, who was it? It either was Luam or Jared Jenkins and Neil Schwartz. They did what class was it?
Oh, was it the
Sam Smith.
yes. Yes, I
Yes,
remember
it was
this
so
one.
long ago. It was so long ago. They did a Sam Smith song, and it was really weird because it was like a breakup song, and I think that was when synchronicity was kind of kicking in my life because I was going through like a small little breakup myself at the time, and it was the
You're
first
like,
time I was
this
like,
is how
okay,
I
now I
can
can like actually
express
express.
myself. Yeah.
Right,
Oh my
right,
gosh,
and I was
that's
like, oh my
so
God,
amazing.
yeah, I
That's so
fell in love.
amazing. So, what has been your journey since discovering dance? What are some of your favorite moments with dance that you've had?
Honestly, it was. There's stages of it. I think as you grow in your career, you start to appreciate different things. When I was starting out, I think I was amazed at the different versatility of classes that I was able to take and was interested in, and the type of crowds, underground, freestyle, commercial, con- like I want to do it all. And I was doing it all. And not badly, how much I trained. I would take like 4 or 5 different classes, and I think that hustle and bustle and getting it and training and putting my body through like you know crazy workouts. I think I missed that part. What other part? I think one of my first jobs, um, I went overseas for a tour in Canada for like Haitian kid retreats, and for them to
Cool.
like it was a foundation for them to get education, a fundraiser for them to pay for education, pay for pretty much schooling, all of it, and it was just touring, doing what I love, being around great people. I think there's nothing better than doing what you love with great people, in all
Yeah.
honesty. And I think that's what I miss. What else? What else? There's just so many stages. I think to answer your question, I'm gonna say all of it.
Yeah.
All of it, the whole journey, the getting down to it, the networking and the discovering who you are, and as well as like just getting better, like expressing yourself, finding your skill, finding your style, finding your expression. Um,
Yeah.
all of it, every part of the journey.
And it must be so different coming to dance and finding that passion and that love of it at an older age where you can really like mentally connect with it in such a different way than like a 3-year-old. Oh no, I lost you. I think he'll come back.
Whoopsies.
Hello, I got you back. Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. I'm glad that you're not frozen.
Hey,
um, I was gonna say, I think that it must be so. It must be such like
what
I
happened?
can't even.
How long have I been off?
Oh no, don't worry. You weren't off for very long. It must be such a different experience coming to dance at an older age where you're mentally able to understand more of the benefits and more of the deeper parts of dance and less of just the doing steps like when you're 3 and bending your knees and pushing your arms and stuff. So it's like something so interesting and something that I could never experience starting dance in that type of mental space. That must just be so, that's so cool that you got to experience that.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It was truly transformative for me. And I think also as a man, growing up where I grew up, as well as just like being a man in this day and age, things are changing. But I think I grew up in a time where you couldn't really express your emotions, or you felt weak, or you were
Mm,
seen as weak, or you were seen as someone not strong and powerful in your manhood. So for me to find a place where I was like, okay, this is where emotion can come out and express itself, I fell in love. And
yeah.
from there, it was just like, okay, there's this space for people like me, all different types, gay, straight, um, male, female, androgynous, the whole nine. Like there was just a melting pot of people just there for the same cause, same purpose, to get better, for the love of passion of dance, and moving forward with it. It was everything.
Yeah.
It was everything. And especially at a time where, like, before the digital age, there was just so much raw passion in it, and it wasn't necessarily for the camera. Not
Yeah.
saying that dance has changed, but there was a different energy, and I walked into it with such amazement. And some of the greatest people that we see today on stage were in class during that time. So I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm seeing greatness. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I feel like we're both similar ages and we had this kind of, it's nice that we got to experience this like pre super social media digital time and then have had to grow with it. And I mean dance has changed and the industry has changed, and but it's nice to be able to look back. I can't imagine like having a childhood without like without this social media stuff all the time, and just seeing dance as dance and going to class, and what happens in the class and that's it. And there's benefits to both, obviously, of sharing what happens along the training process with the world, and then the professional stuff, which is a whole conversation we could have. But I think it's really cool to hear stories about people who experience both and have been there for that kind of transitional time. I like to think that it will help us.
It will.
Yeah.
It does. Like the world is changing. The world is changing, and it's moving in a direction that connects so many different people with so many different artistries around the world. Influences so many different people. Like I wish there was internet the way what is now. Back when
Yes.
I was a kid, because I feel like I would
Yeah.
have been exposed to so much amazing artistry at
Yes,
such an
a
early age,
hundred
and not
percent.
feel like I have to. Yeah, it's an amazing place that we're in,
Yeah.
and I'm
It's
enjoying it.
really
You
wild.
have to move with the times. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like there's pros and cons to both. Obviously, there's there's struggles that come with the mental health and social media and perfectionism and all of that. But I think of it also like, oh my gosh, I would have died being able to have Instagram and like see dancers from all around the world and all these different, like I remember being so passionate about like contemporary ballet, but like I don't think when I was like passionate about it, it didn't like there wasn't a word for it really. I was like, I like when they do ballet, but it kind of looks like hip hop, but it kind of looks like jazz. But and I remember my teachers were like, I wanted to like do a project about that, and they were like, well, we don't know what that is. And like if I had had access, like even just I was like so close. It was like a few years before like Instagram and everyone started changing. It's like it's really interesting to think about that. So there's pros and cons to everything, but I think that's so interesting. Um, how has your relationship with dance changed, or has it changed during this weird time that we're living through? I know that you and Emma have been doing some kind of other, like, there's so many aspects to a dance career, and you guys have been diving into so many different realms and production and direction and acting and all of that, and it's all under this big umbrella of the dance world. Oh, can you hear me? Did it cut out? Are you here? Hello? Technical difficulties. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh my god, I don't know what's happening. Yes, signal is
It's
like,
okay. All of the planets are retrograding or whatever. We can blame it on that. I don't know what you last heard. If you heard my last question, did you hear my last question? Or should I repeat it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, perfect. I'll repeat it. So I was asking, how or has your relationship with dance changed during this weird time that we've been living in? And also, I know that you and Emma have kind of delved deeper into the kind of bigger bubble that is the dance world with directing and all of the different, aspects that go into creating dance. Oh no, I think you might be frozen again. Are you here? I think I hear you. Hello. Hello. If anyone out there can hear me, comment on the YouTube video so that I know it's not me. How are you guys doing out there? I'm very warm. I thought it was going to be much cooler. He's back. Hello. Are you here?
Yes,
I think you're
yes,
here.
You're here.
Amazing.
Okay, okay.
Amazing. Well, I was asking,
Cool.
did you hear my question the second time or did it disappear?
Definitely disappeared.
Okay, cool. So my question was, how has your relationship with dance changed, or has it changed during this weird pandemic time? And then also, I know that you and Emma have kind of dived into this bigger bubble of the dance world. I don't know if that has any reaction to the times that we're in, or if that's something that you guys have always been planning on. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Okay, so it has changed. Trends, like it is transformed huge. I think throughout quarantine, I've discovered a good portion of my motivation and why I was pushing so hard. And a lot of it has to do with a lot of shadow work, a lot of mental awareness about my desires are, and you know the lacks that I feel in myself. And I think a lot of us were going through that during my quarantine. Now that you were able to actually just sit down and just be with yourself.
Yeah.
So a good portion of my relationship with dance has been to walk away from this sense of competitiveness with everyone in the room. Now that it's a professional setting rather than just like a passion, and also just figuring out what is it that I want to do in the industry. What do I want? What am I going to be fulfilled by? Instead of just going for the jobs that everyone just wants to claim because it's the most famous one or the most acclaimed one for everyone to reach for, and the most common. So for me, I really narrowed in on what I truly may have wanted for myself, and it's changed how I train. It's changed how I move. It's changed my motivation. It's changed the way I've, related to my own body, and it's transformed the way I approach so many other things. Like you said before, I've done photography, I'm doing directing, and these are all things that I've always wanted to do. Um, I've always had these grand visions of things I've wanted to do when I was a kid, and never had words to claim these positions and roles. Because growing up where I grew up, you don't really have a lot of examples of success. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I want to be in that music video. Oh, I want to make something like that. Oh, that's cool. Who makes that? Who does that? You don't really know.
Yeah.
And now coming into quarantine, I had the ability to be like, okay, what do I want? What do I want to make? Who am I inspired by? And it's changed my whole trajectory with everything. Me and my partner has started up a production company called Karma. Um, we're going to be releasing some short films really, really soon. Trying
So
to bring
cool.
it back onto TikTok, which is the new platform. Yeah, so we have some things in the work. But yeah, overall, I think I'm bringing in mental health back into my artistry, if that makes sense. I'm being healthy with my choices, being healthy with my body and my spirit, and just doing the things that feel aligned with who I am as a person and who I want to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love what you said about taking away the competition aspect of being in the room with people and competing, because it is thinking of it as a professional setting. And I've never heard anyone put it that way before, but I think that that's such a really, like, an eye-opening way to think about it. It's like there is this kind of underlying competitive, like, it's kind of like under the surface that, like, oh, maybe we should be like, oh, competing with these people, but it really isn't a competition. If anything, you should be competing with yourself to, be better than you were the day before. But even that can be kind of a negative way of looking at it. But I love the idea of thinking like, I'm in a professional setting and I am here because I deserve to be here, and I'm going to do my work because this is my work. And like, it's not like you're fighting to be there. You're there. So treat it like it's professional. I love that concept. I need to think about that. I love that.
Oh yeah. It's
That's
been
a
a
game
journey.
changer. Yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah, because it changes what you want. It changes your outlook on how you see yourself, how you see your artistry, how you treat your artistry. I think also
Yeah.
changing that perspective has allowed me to be a lot more softer with myself, a lot more um, compassionate towards what comes out of me that day creatively. Because not all time do professional artists come out with top 110% work all the time. Like,
Right.
maybe you're going to be 25 one day. Maybe you're going to feel like a 25, but you got to show up as 100. And because you don't feel 100, you're going to feel like damaging yourself every day. No, allow yourself to feel the ebbs and flows of this artistry. And I think that competitiveness stripped away from the equation allows you to feel a lot more love and passion for your artistry. And I think
Yeah,
that's where
because when you
that's the
think
stage
about it,
I'm
like,
at. Yeah.
we started doing this because we love it. Even if you start later in life, even if you start when you're 3 and you decide to keep going, and your parents ask you if you want to keep going, you do it from love. And it's so easy. I think before, I've at least for myself, it's been really eye-opening during quarantine and everything, where you kind of are like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? I used to love this. Do I still love it? Like, taking that pause and being like, am I doing this with love and for love? And just having that reflective time, I think is so beautiful. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that concept. That just opened up a whole, I need to go journal about it later.
Right, right. I'm big on journaling. Oh my God, journaling is
Yeah.
my life.
Oh, I love a good journal session. Okay, so I would love, well, first, actually, before we play our game, I'm going to show off my pumpkin. And I'd love to see yours. I don't know if you're frozen or not, but I kind of added this like gold element to my pumpkin. It still kind of looks kind of gross, but I think it's kind of cute. Like, It's a little spiced up. So, how did
A
your
little
pumpkin
spicy.
turn out?
My pumpkin is falling apart. I'm actually trying to paint and it's falling apart. So I'm gonna wait till it dry to see if I
Yeah,
can, do some more work on it. But
I love it.
it's
I
looking
love
kind
it.
of tragic. It's looking kind of tragic.
It's okay.
But
It's all
yes,
about the process. Amazing.
that's what it's all
Well,
about, the process.
right? It's all about the process. So, it's time for our first game. Let me get my little would you rather?
Mm-hmm.
So, if anyone is watching live or is watching the replay, definitely let us know what you would rather. These are very silly would you rathers. So, would you rather have to narrate everything you see aloud forever or seep chili sauce from your pores when you sweat?
Honestly, I would rather narrate everything. Like, I yeah, I would rather narrate everything. Honestly, this I feel like I admire people who just say what's on their mind all the time. There's just something about those people who just seem so carefree, and I live in my mind so much that I'm like, you know what? I kind of want that to the
Yeah,
extreme. Like, I definitely, definitely.
cool. Oh, this one's a little scandalous for these. Would you rather have explosive diarrhea every morning when you wake up or have
Oh my
scissors
god.
for hands?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, not great.
That is so difficult. Okay, okay, okay. Damn. That is
Yeah,
so
it's not
difficult.
great. Not a great choice.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go. Ooh, no, that's difficult. I'm gonna go with the scissor hands. I'm going with the scissor hands.
Interesting. You could make
I
it
can't.
work.
Yeah, there's ways to make it work. I can become a chef. There's lanes that I feel like I can walk down where it would
Yeah.
be so much
You
more,
would have so much space in class because no one would want to
peaceful.
get sliced by your scissor hands.
Right, and I'll be like Mr. Clean. Like I would just be sharp. All of my lines would be
You could,
lines.
yeah, right? Like you could cut people's, you could have cut my hair instead of me cutting my own hair.
Right, right.
See?
I got you.
Okay,
Stylist.
last one of these. Would you rather cry 126 tears each time you saw a car or get stung by a scorpion each time you have a drink?
Ooh. I think I'm gonna go with the scorpion and the drink.
Yeah.
Why? I can play that off and make that badass.
But
Every
do
time I'm getting
scorpions kill you?
stung by a scorpion.
Maybe you get like immune to it if you get stung so much, like you don't notice the
Yeah.
poison. I don't know. I'm not
Right.
very versed on like scorpion knowledge, so that might be wrong, but
Right. Yeah. I don't know, but I think I'm down for the scorpion. I can make that look badass, and you
yeah.
can, develop a tolerance to the pain. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, yeah, I would imagine so. I'd imagine. Amazing.
Right.
Well, I would love to talk with you a little bit more about your passions outside of dance. I know we teased them a little
Yes.
bit, but what are some of your passions outside of dance?
Okay. So there's so many. For one, I
So
love
many.
photography. Yeah, I've loved photography. A friend of mine, Rashida, really, really, really old friend of mine. We just reconnected not so long ago, and she was a huge supporter in a lot of like my artistries in general, like dance. Back when we were in summer camp, just like a great mover. She supported like me taking pictures. She supported me doing everything. And photography was something that sat with me for a very long time. I also learned it from my dad. He had such a lovely like um, vision for art, and just he wasn't very much of a talkative guy, but he had like a whole bunch of like pictures around the stepping into the directing world right now. Um,
Nice.
I honestly want to make movies. Yeah, there's so many things. Like I'm trying to model. Whew, there's a plethora.
Everything,
But one
doing
main thing that is
everything.
on my plate, yeah, one main thing on my plate is mental health advocacy. That's really, 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 really important to me. Especially being someone who's discovered and suffered from anxiety and depression his whole life. I think growing up, spoke about it enough, and now it's pretty much one of the most things I preach on my Instagram and all of my social medias. It's always about being mentally healthy, how to take care of yourself, how to take care of others when they need more. I think that's definitely one of my main focuses right now.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Talk a little bit more about safe space. And I remember seeing a little bit about this. You were posting. What is safe space?
Okay, so it was a grand idea at first, and then dialed it back down to really to get a stepping process.
I
I
love a big
always
dream.
fell
I
in
love a
love.
big dream. So,
Yes. Yeah. I originally fell in love with retreats and wellness and mental health, and there are things or there are events that go overseas, and you take like a whole week, and you're just all about healing. You're meditating, you're going through therapy, you're going through sound baths. You're like, there's so many things that just are geared to the body to heal. And for me, I considered those spaces safe spaces, and the biggest thing for me was whoever decided to design it created a space of healing, and that was so powerful for me. So my lovely
mm,
partner Emma has dialed it down for me in a way where I can conceptually figure out a way to help people, because that was one of my biggest things, always having deep conversations with people, getting them to themselves, or um, getting to the root of a trauma or an issue, and just talking it out with people who obviously need someone to talk to. So during quarantine, I think we all can say we were going through a heavy, heavy depressive episode,
oh, yeah.
especially in the beginning where we had no idea what the world was going to be. We had no idea where our careers were going to go, where money was going to come from. And had our backs with the stimulus checks yet. Like things were just really, really heavy. Um, so, safe space in general developed as a healing activity. But then it started out as a Instagram challenge. The Instagram challenge was a 7 day challenge of prompts and journaling and sharing it on a social media platform. And the point of it was to, how would I put this? It was to start sharing and start connecting with your immediate Instagram community. And the reason why I wanted to do it on Instagram was because, for one, we were locked in. Everyone was locked in their homes, and everyone was spending most of their time on Instagram. And on top of that, Instagram, especially for the artist community, became a place to show only your perfection rather than
Mm,
your actual process and journey. And for
yes.
me, that was where a lot of our internal dialogues became an issue, where we would compare ourselves, or this person's doing great, when in actuality, they're just having a really hard time keeping it together. They just look really professional on their Instagram. So for me, I was like, okay, everyone's in their mind right now. Everyone's in their head. Let's get some realness out onto this app. And the prompts were about, what are you feeling today? How are you? What is your idea of vulnerability? How do you share your story with people? Um, when was your last depressive episode? What did you do to help soothe yourself? Like, these are the type of questions that everyone on a daily basis, even when the world is normal, go through, and we don't talk about it. Um,
Yeah.
so I think from here, I decided to make it a challenge, invite some people into a group, and daily they'll get these prompts, and they would have to share it on their Instagram story. And if people commented on their story, create a dialogue, create a conversation, and a vulnerable and honest conversation, and you will be surprised at how much you can discover from simply just sharing your story. And it's helped some people out. Some people have come out. Some people have healed their relationship with their sisters, brothers, siblings, cousins, mothers, and it was a real empowering time in my life. As the people who were a part of it, I think we really appreciated that time to practice the idea of vulnerability. Yeah,
Mm.
well, a safe space in general, but it's growing as a company right now. I'm still working on making it an in-person situation rather than just online, but that was the premise of Safe Space.
Yeah, I love that. Like having a community within a bigger, vast space that is so, it can be so consuming and so, like you said, it fosters comparing and fosters, making everything look perfect and then it's actually not. And people just assuming that, and which is something I always have been working on and have to work on more is assuming what other people are thinking, assuming what other people are doing and comparing myself. That's a journey that I'm on myself, and so I think that that's such a wonderful you know way to use a platform that fosters so much of that negativity and switch it and try to bring it back to the actual community building and reflecting and actually sharing instead of just showing. I think that that's such a great message and a mission. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, that was my main issue. Yeah, that was my main thing. But yeah, that was Safe Space. It should be coming back really, really soon on Instagram. I'm just trying to find my life in all these other areas, and
Yeah, I
it
mean,
takes
you've
up a lot
been
of time.
busy. You guys
So
are up to so
enhancing
much.
it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, we do a lot. We do a lot.
yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that because I think that's such a great message and a great way to use a platform that can cause a lot of issues. Okay, it is time for our next game, which is less of a game and more of a little mystery. So it's time for questions. So I'm going to randomly pick from each of these, and we can always veto them, and we'll see what we get. Some of them are from a website called Questions to Ask Your Dad. They have a lot of great questions on that website, so I always like to shout them out. No affiliation with them, but they've got a great list of questions.
Right.
Okay, let's see what we got. Okay. Oh, these are cool. Also, I think one of these questions Emma might have gotten, which is like so crazy because I shuffle these and that's really weird. Okay, pick a
That's
color.
interesting.
Yeah, right?
Wait, you're going out.
Oh no, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Are you there? Maybe try coming in and coming out again, or going out and coming in. Well, it's just me again. Hello, everyone. How are you doing out there? Anyone have a preferred color they want to pick? See if Carlos picks the one you want first. He's back. Hello.
Okay, there we go. There we go. I don't know. Yo, honestly, what's the greatest
It's a ghost. It's for Halloween. It's a.
Yes,
Okay, pick a
it's
color.
Halloween.
Pick a color
I am
and
going
we'll
to
see.
go with orange.
Ooh. Okay, what is your most treasured possession?
Ooh. Whew. That's hard. That's hard. Honestly, no, it's really not that hard. My family and my relationship. I think I've always grown up with this idea that family's always going to be first. Um, and that always keeps me grounded. It keeps me, challenged. It keeps me inspired and to stay myself. Um, so yeah, truthfully, my honest, true, real, truest possession is my relationship with my family and my
I love
relationship
that.
with myself.
I love that. All right, next
Yeah,
question.
yeah. I'm gonna go with blue.
Oh, this is the one that I think Emma got. Have you ever gone to the bathroom and not washed your hands?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Everyone has done it once. Everyone has done it twice.
Especially when you're
Everybody.
little,
And if you
like,
are saying you haven't, oh yeah. Like sometimes you just
we're
forget.
just more
Sometimes you're in
aware
a
of it
rush.
now.
Like, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Now it seems really crazy because of like COVID and everything, but it's definitely happened.
Oh yeah. Oh,
All
hands
right.
down. Hands down. I'm gonna
Next
go with the
question.
pink. I'm gonna go with
What talent would you most like to have?
ooh. Um. Ooh. That's so interesting. I mean, I'm pursuing all the ones that I do want to have. One thing that I've never really I knew for a while I might not be able to have it is the ability thing about being able to sing and blow and inspire people with a voice. That to me is phenomenal. Like Adele, Alicia Keys, like Anthony Hamilton, Lauren Hill. There's so many people that inspire me with their voice, and it's
Yeah.
moving. Like you can make people cry when you sing. You know what I mean? Like that's touching.
Yeah.
That is moving to me. Yeah.
Well, you never know. Maybe you could add some voice lessons to your many list of things to do.
Right. Right. Sing on my own rap tracks.
Exactly, exactly. All right, last one
Right.
of these. What embarrasses you the most in front of other people?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with stumbling over my words or like going on a rampage of like just talking, um, and like not knowing where like what you're saying goes anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
feel like not being understood. I think that's the thing. Yeah, not being understood because of like my words not being as like proficient or like not knowing what I'm talking about. Like that's what would embarrass me the most.
yeah, I love that. And our last question that I ask everyone is what brings out your most creative self?
Ooh, it's been changing, honestly. It ebbs and flows. Some days I would, I'm a movie buff. I want to be a movie director one day. So sometimes all it takes is a movie to like spark so much of my artistry. Some days I just need to literally get down in a park and just listen to lofi hip hop and meditate. Or some days it's about like doing something active, going to a bar and just people watch. There's so many things about life that inspire me. But I think the most is just sitting and watching just really educational things explained on Netflix for some apparent reason sparks like something in me where I'm like that way. Oh my god, that's a whole other system I didn't think about. And I like expanding my mind. If I was to like call it anything, it's expanding my mind. That's what
I love
really,
that.
really gives me juice. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. Okay, well, where can people find you? How can people connect with you? You guys have so much going on, so many different places to connect and ways to work with you and see your work. What is the best way to find you? Oh no, are you frozen? Hello? Are you here? Hello? I think you're back. I think you're back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Are you here? Oh no, now I don't see you. I don't think you're here. Hello out there? I think you're muted. Oh, you're back. Hello, can you hear me?
Go. Yes.
Amazing. How can people connect with you?
But from my, I would be saying, yes.
Can you hear me?
Wait, wait. Things are cutting out again.
Oh no.
Oh my God, internet. Yes.
Amazing. I was saying, how can people get in touch with you? How can they connect?
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I have multiple accounts. I have my Lighthouse Visions. If you guys want to shoot with me, hit me up. Yeah, me. Um, I also have my email in the bio, so definitely you can email me there. My personal account is X Carlos Kid. That is my personal account. There's another one for Safe Space at Safe Space HBH. That's vulnerable healing. Um, and I think those are my top three. If you want to email me, it's carlos.k92@gmail.com. And yeah, those are my platforms.
Awesome. And if you would like to connect with me, you can always follow my personal account, Haley Grove, to see all my dance stuff. And finally, the podcast Instagram is the correct name now, so you can find us at Dear Dance Pod on Instagram, and definitely connect with us over there. Follow all the things. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Essentially Haley. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so that will really help me out. And the last thing that I'll plug is the Patreon for this show. And I'm really excited because when we hit 100 patrons, I'm going to be donating $1 per patron every month to a dancer who has a creative project that needs help being funded. So if we have 500 patrons, then that's $500 that goes to a dancer who needs some money to make a concept video or, pay their dancers or get really good snacks. There's so many ways that we can help the dancers in our community and uplift everyone. So definitely check that out. All of that information will be in the show notes, and I'm not sure if Carlos is going to be able to jump back on. If he does, we'll wait around a little bit longer. And if not, have a great night, everyone.